and happy Sunday. We're back. First rip post vacation. Let's try and find some love. This is 2024 Bowman Mega Box case, PYT number 1. This was a PYT break that hit our store live at 9 a.m. Pacific time, just like all of our PYT breaks here on the channel. Thanks for those of you that jumped in early and often, grabbing your favorite squads. Appreciate the love, y'all. Just like every break here on the channel, all cards will ship. Thank you very much for the rips, boys and girls. Let's go. Number 2. PYT number 2 is in the store. Let's fill that tonight, too. I think we're going to go through each box one by one here. We'll do the base, then we'll do the megas. Like I said, all cards will ship, even the base rookies, etc. Got a Jacob Wilson and Honeyman Chromes. Got Woko Anthony Chromes. We've got a Ortiz Churio Chromes. Silva and Isaac. Mega box pack number 1. So yeah, we'll do a recap here of the trip in just a minute. We'll get everybody coming in, and I'll kind of walk you through my trip notes. Ethan Salas, DePaulo. What do we got here? How about an Ortiz to 150 blue for the Rangers? Hey, that's a nice one there. SKS, an Acuna, and a Jared Dickey. Hope everyone had a good couple of weeks. That was the longest vacation I think I've had in a long time. In a long time. It was worth it. We've been working hard. Dylan Cruz here. Nice one. Nice start. And Alvarez. Mason Wynn, Rookie of the Year favorites. Can't tell if that's numbered. Doesn't appear to be. A Glad and a Jose Rodriguez. Gotta get back into the groove here. It's been a while since I opened some packs. Alright, so what did we do? Did we have some fun? I think I did. Had a lot of fun, actually. So my wife, who loves to travel, she promised both the kids that on their graduation, that our graduation gift to them would be pretty much a trip anywhere that they wanted to go. My son actually graduated. He's in his second year of college, so we're a little bit behind on this one just due to the start of the business opening, etc. So we didn't really do, Wagner and Clifford. What up, Forrest? Thank you. We were about a year and a half behind for him, so we'll be on time for my daughter. She's a senior this year, Charlie Davis and Jimenez. But we did promise each of our kids, so why we went on the trip was a vacation, but it was because we promised our kids high school grad trip, wherever they wanted to go. But my son, he chose Japan, and it was a little outside of the box for him, but I'm certainly glad that he did. Soderstrom, we have a Noelve Marte rookie, a Volpe, and a Mason Wynn rookie. So the purpose of the trip was a family vacation, but how we chose Japan was the fact that it was a graduation gift for my son. Of course, my wife and I did most of the planning and We had me, my wife, my son. He got to bring a friend. He brought one of his buddies from high school. His name was Ray. Evan Carter rookie. A Dominguez rookie. A Jackson Holiday, Power It Up. A Miles Naylor, and a Bias. That was a good Mega Box pack there. A Mojo pack. So there were 6 of us. My niece, who has been here with us for the summer, she came with us on the trip. So 6 in total went on the trip in our group. We also met my wife's brother and his family. Their family of 6. We met them in Japan. Took a little bit different routes to get there. My family and I, we drove. So after I left the stream on that Saturday Night Trust, after we left the Saturday Night Trust, I went home. My wife and I packaged up and my wife sorted and packaged up all the breaks from that week. So I didn't go to bed until like 2 or 3 in the morning on the night before we left. We drove down to LA, got down to LA like at, 10 o'clock in the morning or something like that. Our flight was at 1. We took a direct flight from LAX to Narita, which is an airport right outside of Japan. And that was right outside of Tokyo, excuse me. It's about an hour drive from the heart of Tokyo, De La Cruz there. So we took a direct flight from LAX. It's about a 10 and a half, 11 hour flight, if I recall. So long, that's a long flight. It's a long flight for me. I don't do well sitting for that long. Frelick rookie, Julio. That's a Drew Jones. Mauricio rookie, and then Aiden Smith for the Mariners on the firsts. Direct flight from LA to Narita. That was also our flight back, was same direct flight back. I arranged for the hotel to have a shuttle service pick us up at the airport, and I had one of those guys with the nameplate Mr. Fiedler on it, so when I got out of the airport I didn't have to worry about cabs or anything like that. It was reasonably priced. It's like $220 for not having to worry about navigating a foreign airport or getting to where we want to go after being delirious on a 15-hour flight or with a 15-hour travel time. Woco Rodriguez, that's a Jerstad, a Morabel, and a Wyatt Langford. So that was kind of probably the best $200 I spent on the entire trip. A private little van or whatever it was that took care of all of our luggage and got us to where we needed to go. I didn't think I realized till we got there that they're opposite side drivers than us. Like those freaking Euros over there too. That's the opposite side of the street. I don't know if I could ever get used to that. I don't know if I could. I mean, I'm sure I could, but that was kind of like I was like, oh, it was just a shocker, I'm not used to that. So we were gone for I think 12 days in total. First 2 days, we got into Tokyo. We stayed at the Hilton Tokyo Bay, which is on like a little island. It's on a little island in the bay. Heredia, Cole Young, Skull, Arroyo, Ramirez, and Diaz. So we got there that night. We found a nice place to have dinner, which was great. We had dinner at our hotel, actually. It was a pretty good... Oh, what is this? Oh, what is that? Matt Shaw, Spencer Jones, and a Westberg rookie to 199 for the Orioles. Jared Pease on the Orioles. And Corbin Carroll and an Enrique Jimenez for the Tigers. So we went to the Hilton Tokyo Bay that first night. Then the next day, we were there, short trip in the beginning. We went to Tokyo Disneyland on day 2. Tokyo Disney was everything you would expect it to be. Fairly similar in design. Junior Caminero, rookie. Curtis Mead, Bryce Matthews, and a Yohandi. And everything, very similar, like Main Street to what you'd see in Florida and what you'd see in Disney, California. They didn't have a lot of the rides were down, unfortunately, that the day that we went, but very fun experience. All the merchandise and food, like was like you didn't get gouged. Like it wasn't $7 for a water bottle. It was a reasonable $2.50 for a water bottle. I think that's the one thing that I noticed, like at the theme parks, because I went to 2 of them. I'll talk about the second one in a second. Is that they weren't? It wasn't like every opportunity to gouge you for, gouge you for your freaking left nut. You know what I mean? So we did Tokyo Disney on the day after we arrived. So we didn't arrive till like 4 or 5 at night. So we spent the night just kind of wandering around the hotel and the area surrounding the hotel, and then the next day we went to Disney. That night, went back, kind of teal bush, did our thing, and took off for Osaka the next day. Burke and Sim. So when we went to Osaka is my first experience on a bullet train. We took the bullet train from Tokyo to Osaka, Japan. Cerna, Porter, Jackson Holiday, Luke Adams. Oh, a nice Yamamoto here for the Dodgers. And it probably would have been a 5-hour drive from Tokyo to Osaka. Probably maybe an hour or 2 flight, hour and a half, hour flight if we were to take a plane. But it was about $85 a person, I think, to take the bullet train, and it got us there literally in like an hour and a half on the bullet train. I mean, these things are smooth. So those of you that are in California, here we go. Burrows. What do we got here? Well, that's our first auto. It's an outfielder. It's a Honeyman to 199 for the Cardinals. Addison's on the Cardinals. So those of you from California, we've had a long discussion around this bullet train that they're supposed to be building. That is it's already past the time it was supposed to take to build it, and it's already like, I don't know how many billions over budget. They keep on having excuses, but this train to nowhere. I mean, I really feel like there's a lot of value in the bullet trains, and they are quick, they are efficient, fairly reasonably priced. They just can't make it happen here in California. It would be great to have one from like Central California to Vegas, or from LA to Vegas, get you there in like 30 minutes without having to worry about flights and stuff. It really is great. It really is a great infrastructure tool, but they just can't make it happen for the right amount of budget. So that was my first experience on a bullet train. So then we spent the next 4 nights, 4 days, 3 nights, basically 3 days in Osaka. Osaka was quite the experience, man. That was our first, like, we didn't really go out and about in Tokyo, but we did go out and about in Osaka. And we were staying at the Hilton Osaka, which is right in the downtown like business district. And boy, let me tell you, that is something else, man. Like the people, like the number of people in like such a small area. It is a very populous nation, but you can't really see all the hustle and bustle. You feel it though when you go down to those subways, you go to the train stations. I mean, you really do feel it. But we stayed downtown Osaka. First day there, we went to Juan Soto, a Marte, Eldridge, Aaron Judge, and a Luciano. We went to Universal Studios in Osaka. That was a fun time. Lines weren't too crazy. It was kind of hot though. It was kind of hot and muggy. I'm from California, so it's been over 100 here, but just the mugginess, I think, did us in. It like drains you. Those of you from Florida or any of those, the South, states or areas where, you know, humidity is a part of your daily lives. I don't want no part of that. I'll take the 100 dry heat over the 85 and 80% humidity. I'll take the dry heat in the hundreds all day long. That humidity just seems like it just drains you. Everyone freaking had an umbrella there. Everyone freaking had an umbrella, whether it be to protect their fair skin from the sun, or that's probably what it was most of the time, have some shade. And it just rains sort of intermittently, I guess. We also went to the Downtown Bury district, which is just a fun, unique experience of stores, vendors. It's an area that's right on the river. It was a pretty fun experience. The kids really enjoyed that. Just going out there and shopping till their heart's content. A lot of those types of, like urban lifestyle that we're not, even though I live in like a big city, Fresno's probably close to 1 million people now here in California, but it's a different style of life. We have more of like a suburban lifestyle. Even though we're in a big city, it's like not like downtown Chicago or anything like, it's more of a suburban living lifestyle. A Calaz, Evan Carter, Rojas, and an Adley. It's definitely a suburban lifestyle where I live, and there wasn't much suburban lifestyles anywhere we visited here, which was kind of weird. It was more of like big city style living across that old country. I mean, there are some areas over in the country and whatnot where there was probably some suburban style lives, but not much that we visited. So we went to the Downtown Bury district, which was fun. Visited a couple different castles and temples and shrine. The Osaka Castle is one of them. It's pretty cool to see legit like moats around the castle. Just the beauty of those ancient, castles that had been there for, hundreds and hundreds of years. It was pretty fun to see. And so 3 days just traveling around Osaka. It was pretty fun. Then we went to a little bit of a smaller city, which was about an hour away from Osaka. About north, maybe a little bit northeast of Osaka is a city called Kyoto. Kyoto was probably between our family, was probably one of our favorite 3 days of the trip. Just the lifestyle, the people, more traditional. Although it was city lifestyle, it wasn't as crammed and as packed as like Osaka or Tokyo. So we really enjoyed our time in Kyoto. We did, a bunch of things in Kyoto. A bamboo forest, the Nishiki, how do you say that? Market was a sort of like a Downtown Bury like marketplace where, just tons of shops, areas to experience different things, whether it be games or stores or shopping. Was pretty fun. The bamboo forest was just amazing. Frelick again. Julio, we've seen this pack before. Aiden Miller, Morabel, and a Wyatt Langford. And, a lot of the same types of districts and shopping areas. A lot of high-end stuff in a lot of the areas we went to, too, as well. High-end shopping, high-end stores. All the major designers were in all of these cities as well. Indy, a Walco. That's an Austin Wells, Luke Adams, and another Yamamoto. So we've seen that box. So apparently these runs, these roll and runs. Morabel. Clark and Jimenez, another LE base rookie there. Got a Walker Jenkins. Baez and a Watson. So, also while we were in Kyoto, it was my first time ever staying in one of the, like, I forget what they call it already. Jackson Holiday, Burrows, a Jung-Hoo Lee rookie, nice one there for the Giants, Glad, and Rodriguez. Tandoori? I think that's what it's called. Anyhow, like, when they, you know, the types of housing, like what they do with their floors, like we stayed in the traditional Japanese style hotel when we were in Kyoto. Man, that was a trip, dude. We had like no room. I was like squished the entire time. Canario, second auto. It's a shortstop. It's a Santana. It's an Adrian Santana for the Tampa Bay Rays. We have the Rafaela, Celestine, and an Isaac. I forget what they call it. I'll have to look it up. But it was, you know, very small, intricate, you know, hotel room that we stayed at there. Fun though. I mean, it was a good experience. I'm glad I did it, but probably won't be wanting that type of room ever again. I'm too big. Got too much crap. Couldn't wear your shoes inside the room. You had to take your shoes off at the door. It was like crazy. So that was fun. And then, so we rounded out our time. Oh yeah, and then I had bought so much stuff in Osaka and Kyoto, like Pokemon. I bought a lot of Pokemon. That I had to ship a huge box back. I had to ship a big box. It was like 30 pounds. It was like a 30-pound box I had to ship. It cost me like $200 to ship it. I still don't have it. Had I had known we were going to be renting a car on the way back, I just would have saved the money and rode it on the plane. I'll tell you about that in a second. Wells, Geloff, Wells again, Drew Jones, and the James Wood. Green, Westberg, Roman Anthony, Ben Williamson, and a Wisenhunt. So, like, on the way down, the six of us, man, we barely fit in my wife's, we have a GL 450, and, like, packing everybody's big suitcase in there with one. We have a third row, but we couldn't put the third row all the way up because we needed a spot for my, niece to sit in one of the third row. It's a split third row. We literally didn't have any room back there. So the entire time we were stressing over how are we going to get all this stuff back and whatnot. So it turns out towards the end of the trip, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to rent a car in LA. We'll California carpool on the way home. So we'll rent a car at LAX and then just do a one-way rental car, have my son drive back up to Fresno and that. So had I done that, I would have saved the $200 in shipping, and I still don't even have it. I don't think the package has left Japan yet, which is super lame. And it cost me $200 to ship it. So should have just kept it and shipped it back with me. I would have had it to sell at least, but I didn't. So I had to spend a morning shipping some stuff. Has everything been shipped from the break before you went on vacation? Yes, indeed, Hunter. It sure has. It sure has. Yes, everything was shipped that same Monday before we left on vacation, brother. Yes, everything is shipped. Hernandez, Johnson, Troy Acuna, Walker, and Valdez. Armstrong, our second autograph is in Alderman on the $5 Holler Marlins. Kemp Alderman. Luciano Mauricio. So then we left Kyoto and spent the a bulk of our last week or so in Tokyo. Went to all of the major districts in Tokyo. We went to Shibuya. We saw the Shibuya Scramble. We went to Shinjuku. We went to Ginza. We went to Akihabara. We saw the towers. We saw, oh, here we go. That's a Curtis Mead for the Tampa Bay Rays to $2.99. We went to, basically Tokyo has a bunch of little provinces or whatever you want to call them, like little mini cities or areas or districts in the main city. Yeah, the 10th sounds about right. That would have been the date that we we dropped them off there, Hunter. So that would have been the date we dropped them off, the 10th. So if you just want to email me the tracking number, I can take a look at it. Susac Rios. Yoshida, Bryce Harper, Luciano Lombard, and a teal. Jung-Hoo Lee, a Canario, and another Mead to $2.99. Wow, what is going on with the Curtis Meads? Like that's the 9th Curtis Mead. We have a Rafael rookie. Rafael, excuse me. All right, so just so that was our vacation. So some observations, just some general observations. The infrastructure of the cities, how they're built. The transportation's way move above, and it's like above ground. It's generally a calm. There's movement. Some cars, traffic didn't seem terrible, even though it took forever to get from place to place. It didn't seem to take forever. Like if you wanted to Uber or take a cab anywhere, Uber was over there, so that was great. I used that a couple times. We had my daughter's, my wife found a Japanese photographer to do my daughter's senior pictures over in Japan. So I'm excited to see those senior pictures for my daughter. She was juiced. They went to some crazy cool places to take pictures, etc. But the infrastructure of the city was amazing, between the subways and trains, and how they've architected that entire just transportation infrastructure was pretty crazy. Porter, Lombard, Burke, and Betts. I know some of you from bigger cities that have subways and things are used to that. California, we really don't have too much of that. But just in California we got like the BART and things like that, but nothing compares to the intricacy of all these subway lines and station transfers and all that stuff to get from subway to train, etc. Holiday, Burroughs, Rafaela again, and a Pereira. The infrastructure, pretty much in every single one of the cities, was downright impressive. It's amazing that we can't really develop something as efficient and cost-effective in some of our major cities or metropolitan areas. I didn't realize they're much more advanced and have been so for a long time compared to the United States. But that was pretty impressive for me, and fairly inexpensive to travel from place to place. I felt it was very efficient. It took us about a day or two to figure it out, those sorts of things. But that was one of my general observations, was just like the infrastructure was pretty amazing. The cleanliness of the area, in all of the, I'll just say this: if you've been to any major metropolitan city, whether it be Los Angeles, downtown LA, downtown Seattle, downtown San Francisco, they have turned into complete dumpster fires. Like legit, dumpster fires. You could walk out of a Louis Vuitton store in downtown San Francisco and have some bum trying to pee on your shoe. Literally you leave it's that bad in most of our metropolitan cities and downtown areas. It's terrible. All of these beautiful, great metropolises that once were some of the best cities in the world, i.e. San Francisco, are just absolute dumpster fires because the bureaucracy and the governments, etc., of each of those metropolitan areas just we won't get into politics here, but it's just a major metropolitan city, the things that we should be so thankful to have. Canario, here's a green Cespedes to 99 for the Red Sox. But in every single one of these major downtowns, and I stayed downtown. Now, sure, I think I saw one homeless person the entire time I was there. Now, I'm not saying that they don't have more homeless people than one, right? But it wasn't prominent. It wasn't around every corner. It wasn't every street corner. It wasn't everywhere. It was, the cleanliness of the cities was just incredible. And surprisingly enough, no trash cans anywhere. You couldn't just walk down the street. And find a trash can on a corner. You couldn't walk into a department store and there'd be a trash can there. Literally, it was difficult to find a trash can. Unless you ate at a fast food restaurant where they had them at a fast food restaurant tucked away in the back. It's so weird. They ask you to bring your trash home with you. There are no trash cans anywhere. It was the weirdest thing, but I have a feeling that was, even though we have trash cans everywhere around here, I feel like that's part, they get overflowing and then people don't clean them up. And then that's part of the reason why there's trash everywhere. But in all of these major cities that we went to, there was not trash everywhere. There was not a bunch of homelessness. It was these major hustle and bustle of downtown communities were clean, safe. Drew Jones and James Wood, you didn't feel like you were running for your life, or that you were gonna step in some pile of crap or have to get sticky feet because someone's peed all over the sidewalk. It was really, really clean, and I appreciated that. It just makes me wonder how far, how did our country get so far off the rocker? There's a Walker Jenkins and the Shanuel rookie. How did our country get so far off the rockers? We got back into LA, and the cleanliness of LAX compared to one of the Japan airports, it was like oh wow, we're back. Yeah, we're back. Just the politeness of the people, which leads me to my next thing. The politeness and courteousness of the people, from the subway systems to Just the respect that they have for travelers, the respect that there was for, you know, people in general. You know, and I guess what you know, at one point early on in the trip, my wife looked at me and she goes, "So, how does it feel to be, you know, a minority?" I guess is what she said. She did say that. For those that don't know, my wife is Asian, so she's used to being a minority here in the United States. But you know, I honestly, I didn't. It never really even crossed my mind. In fact, I felt like if I had the ability to speak Japanese, I probably would have been embraced a little bit even more, you know. But I didn't feel awkward. I didn't feel weird. You know, I'm not the tallest guy in the world. I'm like 5'10 and a half, 5'10, right around that range. Salas DePaula, a gunner to 150, blue Priester and an Encarnacion Strand. So outside of just, you know, being a little bit bigger than most, you know, I didn't feel out of place. I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel weird. I didn't feel like I was being taken advantage of at all. I love the fact that it was a no tipping culture. That saved me 20, 30, 40 bucks every meal that we went to. But so that was good, and people just provided good service because their job was to provide good service. It wasn't because they you know, were banking on getting a tip or anything like that. They provided, in fact, if you tipped them, it was like a level of disrespect almost. Another Dickie here. So I really felt like the politeness, courtesy, the service at every one of the establishments I went to was top notch. You know, and we don't get that a lot of times here in the States. I know that, especially depending on what area of the country you go to. You know, their culture around service is just completely different. My son's friend Ray, he had his you know, his step monitor thing, his pedometer, whatever you call that. We did every day, except for the travel days where we were on the train most of the day or something like that. But every day we did over 20K steps, which speaks to the, you know, the culture, the health of the population. We did a ton of walking, and that's probably partly because we're tourists and we're walking around and stuff. But you know, people walk to work. They take subways and trains to work. Not many people had cars. You know, it was different, just a different lifestyle. You know, I live, you know, I walked to a train station there and didn't think twice of a 10-minute walk to get to a train station. Yet, you know, it's a 5-minute walk from my house to the store, and I still drive my car. You know, it's like just a completely different culture. Everyone does a lot of walking there. Aiden Miller, Lasco, Priester, and Strand again. So we definitely experienced that walking / train culture. But it's also a lot easier, right? You can get across town very easily with the train and rail and the systems, whereas here, like, you know, it's impossible to get across town unless you want to take the city bus, and even then, that's, you know, I don't even remember the last time I did that. Hey, he's a Basalo. That's for the Orioles. Jared P's on the Orioles. All right, take your teams in number 2. We've got teams available in PYT number 2 of this mega box case. We're also going to be starting a case of Series 1 tops. That'll be up next. So hop in. We got 3 boxes left in number 1. So in each of the 3 major cities, I spent a lot of my free time going to different sports card shops and TCG shops. major sports in America are a huge part of our lifestyle, whether it's NBA, MLB, NHL, whatever the most popular sport is, the NFL. That's probably how popular baseball is over in Japan, in their Japan leagues and stuff. Langford and Morgan, Celestine Gutierrez, Zavala and Lee, Shaw and Collier. So pretty, the regular packs in this have been fairly disappointing, I must admit, at least in this case. A Caminero, Mike Trout, J. Dom, Montez, and Arias. But the sports card shops, I think they need some little bit of love. I went to at least 1 or 2 sports card shops in every city. A couple of them had your Bowman, a couple of them had some soccer. I did find 2 of them that had 2020 F1 Chrome boxes still around. They were selling them for like $1,700. But for the most part, Riley Green. That's to $250 on the purple green. The sports card shops, I'm used to, I didn't know anything about the Japanese baseball cards and those teams. I don't know any of them except for Shohei and Ichiro and Yamamoto. But for the most part, the sports card stores were fairly weak and need some love. In fact, I took 5 Shohei cards. I took 5 Shohei cards with me. I took a 1/1 printing plate auto. I took a 1/1 non-auto. I took a flawless auto to 8 of Shohei. I took an Inception auto to 50 out of 23 Inception. I took 5 Shohei autos in total. The cheapest one was like a $1,200 card, and most of them were in the $2,000 to $2,500 range on the 1/1 and the auto. And I took them to each of the 3 biggest sports card shops in there. It's like a brand called Mint. And the first shop I went to, they literally offered me $2,400 for all 5 cards. $2,400 for all 5 cards. I looked at them. I'm like, one of these cards is $2,500, and you're offering me $2,400 for all 5. And he says, "That's our rate." And the negotiation culture over there is non-existent. You literally pay price. Nope, sorry, no room for discount. No room. Whether it was overpriced or not. So they refused to negotiate, and I wonder if he didn't think he knew what he was doing, or he was uncomfortable with, me bringing, one person bringing all these cards, asking them if they wanted to buy them. Maybe they were just thought they were stolen or something. I don't know what it is, but low ball offers like that, where it was pretty bad. I gotta admit, it was really bad. And for the most prominent baseball player in their country, you know what I mean? There's no one more popular over there than Shohei, right? And to offer me that was crazy. TCG shops, on the other hand, were amazing. I probably went to over 20 different TCG shops while I was in the area. Literally 5 to 10 stores in every city. I went to a lot of them. I bought a lot of product, bought a lot of cards. They were pretty amazing. I loved some of the setups. I loved some of the card stands that they had. I love some of their pricing technology. Their inventory management systems were pretty cool. How they had everything priced out and scanned, etc. So I was very impressed with the Magic the Gathering, Pokemon. One Piece is just absolutely incredibly huge over there. It's gaining a lot of steam over here as well. But in general, the TCG shops over there are just incredible. I loved it. I loved how they had things priced and sorted out, etc. So I really enjoyed my time going to, you know, I don't know too much about, I do know a lot about TCG more than most, but I didn't, you know, some of the like Magic I don't really know anything about. One Piece I'm gaining some steam on, but definitely know my Pokemon. Soderstrom, Walker, Jung, Baez, and a Volpe rounds out the case. Wow, I talked through that entire freaking rip there. Hopefully you guys were enjoying the rip as I just blabbered about Japan. So we've got case number 2 coming up next. Let's do a quick hit recap in this one. Top loaded cards, and we'll get things printed out and on to the tops break, and then we'll see what happens for the second case, as well as the second half of the Tops Series 2 case. Green, Basalo Auto, Cruz, Aiden Miller, Gunner, Shanuel, Jenkins, Teal, Lumber. So I think we hit most of the big rookie, at least in the megas in the case. Mead, Teal, Lombard, Alderman, Santana, Yamamoto, Kalaz, Honeyman, Westberg, Frelick, J-Dom, Carter, Wynn, Otani, Indy, Glod, Cruz, and Dickey. So only 4 autos in the case. We had the 3 base, so Basalo, Alderman, Santana, and then the parallel was the Honeyman. So I think if we're honest, a pretty low energy first case there. So let's step it up in the second case. It's in the store, PYT number 2. Thanks for the love on that one.